Have you ever wondered why people do what they do? Why they shut down, explode, withdraw, repeat the same patterns, or surprise us in ways we never saw coming? Today, we are going to explore the 5 laws that will help you understand human behavior more clearly than ever before. And this is my promise. So, what I'm going to discuss, think of it like a cheat sheet that every student, every psychology student studies, and every human unknowingly lives by. For students, these are the fundamentals. For professionals, these are the backbone of every assessment. And for everyone else, these 5 laws are what make people finally make sense. So let's uncover them one by one. Because once you understand these 5 pillars, people stop being like puzzles and start becoming predictable, and the most importantly, it like they start becoming predictable in most human and compassionate way. So shall we dive in? Let's go. The architecture of understanding, and you will realize why this is the title of this, and we are going to discuss the 5 pillars of human psychology in a way that it facilitate us to understand human psychology. It facilitate us in understanding the next human. So let's get into it. So first of all, it is science of us. Okay, it is a gentle inquiry into the landscape of being human. And whenever we talk about being human, what comes in your mind? See, since I'm a psychologist, behavior is the first thing that comes in my mind. Okay, for you, what it comes, let me know in the comment sections. Okay, let's move on. So what we are going to discuss will help you to make a map. Okay, so psychology is often seen as a very heavy academic word, and when people learn that, like when I go into the public and say I am a psychologist, people have their own things. They'll be like, oh, you are going to read mind and all. But at its core, psychology is simply the story of us. It's just the story of us. Okay, and today we are going to learn the map making, which is basically understanding the behavior. So it's a process for the vast unexplored continent of human mind. It allows us to distinguish healthy patterns from unhealthy, not to judge, but to navigate the terrain with great ease. So whatever we are going to discuss today, it is going to help us in this. Let's get going. 5 goals of psychology. Okay, this is a framework for understanding behavior, and we are going to go through all 5 of them. Right now, let's just understand what the titles are of them. Okay, first is describe. Observing behavior with clarity. Now, how to observe, what is clarity, we are going to learn. Explain, understanding the underlying reasons. Now, what can be the underlying reasons and everything we are going to learn. Predict, forecast future actions. Now, there is this glass globe of this thing, and it looks very psychic and all. So, no, we are not going to talk about this. We are going to talk about this, the compass. Okay. And that's where in the previous slide the map was there. Okay, the 4th is control, influencing and regulating behavior. So yes, control comes as one of the goals of psychology, but this is not the control which you think it is. Improve, enhancing quality of life. Of course, that is the most important thing. That's the reason why you visit a psychologist, don't you? Because you want to improve your quality of life. You have to overcome the issues, the things that are bothering you, that are affecting you and not letting you live fully. Okay, let's get into it. So first goal is to describe the art of observation. Now, whatever we see, if we started describing it, we will see it much deeper. But that's what we don't do, because every time we see something and we sit on describing, it will take a lot of time, and that's where the mistake is. Okay, and why the mistake is, I will let you know. So let's first discuss and understand this thing. So what is observing? So it is seeing with clear eyes. Okay, in this first stage, we are not fixing or changing anything. You are not the problem solver, you are the observer. First, be the observer. We simply observing the focused behavior as accurately as possible. And this line is very important. Focused behavior, observing the focused behavior as accurately as possible. Okay, what does that mean? As human beings, we can be very biased, and we are very biased. And a psychologist can also be biased. However, a psychologist is aware of their biases, and that is what makes them a good psychologist. So, as humans, we will be biased. However, we can still focus on observing the focused behavior as accurately as possible, like keeping our biases aside and just focus on observing. And how we can do that? We can do that by thinking of like our eyes as camera lens. We just gather the data without editing the photo. So you know how the camera works. It just captures whatever is there. It just clicks until you start, changing the settings and everything. Okay. And that's where, if you have seen the people who are photographers, they click pictures, but they do not send you immediately. They process it, they edit it, and then they share. Because what they have clicked is a very raw photo. It has a lot of things, and if you see that raw photo, you will be like, what is this? Okay, that will happen until they have processed it, until they have edited it. Okay, when they edit, then the depth and the richness of the image comes in. Before the edit, it is completely raw, and it would feel, what is this? And I'm giving you this example because similar happens here as well. When we see any behavior, we may be like, what is this? So we have to just gather the data. Whenever we say, what is this? It is a reaction. So we have to first gather the data as much as possible, as accurately as possible. Okay, we are just gathering the data. That is our first aim, first goal, which is to see with clear eyes, see things with clear eyes, understanding this fact that accuracy is kindness. Okay, so we are humans, we are biased. When we see something, we would want to make it in a digestible way, make it in a better way, so that it does not look very bad. We change it, we frame it, and that is where it is not good. And that's where it is written, accuracy is kindness. You have to observe the behavior as it is going on. You have to observe everything, okay, whatever you can, as accurately you can, and you have to keep it like that. You have to be accurate, and accuracy is kindness. Otherwise, if you tweak it, you will lose the meaning. And when you lose that meaning, whatever you do, it won't fulfill. Okay, so why it is kindness, why accuracy is important? Because it helps us distinguish between the healthy behaviors and unhealthy behaviors. And like here it is written that distinguish between what serves us, which is healthy, and what drains us, which is unhealthy. Now here this thing happens that we can observe ourselves as well. There are certain things which we do which we think is not draining us, it is charging us. But when we observe it without filtering, we understand what we are doing. Just an example I gave. So gather as much as data you can, observe everything as accurately as possible. See yourself as a cameraman, see yourself as someone who is just gathering the data. You are not in that editing stage. No, that time will come. Not right now. Right now it is observation time. You are a very unbiased observer, and to do that you can be the third person, see things from a third person's perspective, which is just sitting and watching things and making a note of everything. When you do that, you have no idea how much it is going to help you. So let's move on. Now the second goal or the second law is to explain the things. So first of all, I told you that we react often. Okay, whenever we see something, we will react, because reaction is something very automatic, and that is what we have to understand. So we have to move from what to why, and that is where we have to be bring ourselves in. We have to be conscious of what is happening, what are we doing. Okay, so first we observed the data from the third person's POV, where we were not in that situation, we were just seeing that situation from the outside. Now we are moving from what to why. So once we have described the behavior, we must understand its roots. Behavior is never random. This is so important. Behavior is never random. Even if a child is behaving in some way, it is not random. We have to understand it. And when we understand it, we could help it. So behavior is never random. It always has determinants. We look for the causing factors, including biological, emotional, or situational. So these are the causing factors which add their own thing in that behavior. And when we explain behavior, shame often evaporates because we realize there is a logic to our pain. Such an important line, no? Such a powerful thing, that there is a logic to our pain. And one more thing, the point of shame often evaporates. So whenever we are seeing a behavior and reaction is coming, that reaction will put us or the next person into guilt or shame. And that is where this is that when we start explaining the behavior, when we start understanding the behavior, first of all we observe the behavior as accurately as possible. Then we are trying to move from what to why, which means what was the behavior, which was the reaction. From reaction we are moving to understanding, which can be our response. Okay, so when we do that, shame evaporates, because shame is no longer there. At least we are not putting shame out there. Okay, we are understanding, and that is so important. So yes, here we were. First we observed whatever is going on in front of us as accurately as possible. Then we try to explain. Okay, in explaining we are moving from what to why. What is reaction? We are moving to the response, which is understanding why it is happening, what are the factors that are making it happen, or what are the contributors, what are the determinants. Let's move on. The third goal is predict, the educational guess. So now we have gathered the data, we have understood the things. Now we think we can predict, right? Yes, we can. However, there are a few things to it which we will understand, we will learn, most important things. So it is very interesting for us to predict, because we also have to be prepared. Okay, so that's where predicting comes in. So it's like, if we predict that a storm is coming, we can take the precautions, we can take the necessary measures for it. So that is what we do. And educational guess, for most important thing, is based on deep understanding. Okay, that's why it is known as educated guess. This is not a guess, it is an educated guess that is coming from A, or your observation, B, your explanation to that observation. That's where it becomes educational guess. Okay, this is coming from a deep understanding of the observation and the explanation, and of course of your own things, your education, your way of perceiving things, your way of explaining things, a lot of things like that. and that is what makes it a educational guess. Let's move on, and okay, let's understand this thing a little bit more better. Okay, forecasting the self. So prediction is not a magic. Of course, if you were thinking of a that, what is that, glass globe, which is there by the way, yeah, which I have already told you, we are not discussing about that. So prediction is not magic. It is not about that glass globe and we being psychic and all. No. It is pattern recognition. Human behavior, human actions, if we study them very, very with a lot of data and all, we will see their patterns. And you would have also seen this thing that whenever we try to connect the dots backward, we can understand what made us do what when we again observe, explain and all that. So yes, prediction is not magic, it is pattern recognition. If we have accurately described and explained a behavior, we can forecast when it might return. Okay, behaviors are healthy and unhealthy. We are usually focused on unhealthy behaviors because that is what bothers us. So when we understand, first of all, describing the unhealthy behavior, explaining all the factors and everything, then we would know what are the triggers of this unhealthy behavior, when it can return. So this isn't to doom us, but to prepare us. And again, same example, if we know the storm is coming, we can be ready. So if we know that, this is or this has triggered our unhealthy behavior, we can take precautions, we can do something about it. So let's move on. Now the fourth goal is control, taking the wheel. Now what do you mean by taking the wheel? Of course, first of all, this control is not what you think control is. So let's understand this. So this is regulation, not suppression. Okay, control can feel heavy, but here it means taking the driver's seat of behaviors that once controlled you. It involves three movements. First, making it happen, like cultivating the healthy habits, making the healthy habits happen. Second is reducing it, pruning what harms you. Whatever is harming you, you have to reduce it, like in a systematic way, reduce, and there will be a time when you can just cut it off. In terms of human behavior, okay, you can't just cut it off. You have to reduce, because it was also serving some purpose, something was there. So that's where reducing it is the title. Enhancing the good things, watering the good to grow better. Okay, it also means encouraging the good behaviors, encouraging the good things, reinforcing the good things like that. So the control is not the control which you think, like a puppet master is there and it controls the puppets with the hands and all. No, it is not that. It is like, okay, your body is there and you are there. You are the one who controls your body. I am controlling my body. If my hand want to go up here, it is me who is taking the hand up. I am in control. But what happens is that when life is happening, when situations are uneasy, our body takes our control, like takes control from us. It does what it feels like. It does certain things under the control of hormones, under the control of mood, and a lot of things like that. And that is where we are not in control of our body, of our own things, our responses. So body is automatically, it is reacting, it is doing things, and that's where this control comes in. It is you taking control of yourself. Okay, so, and how you do that? You do it by regulation. Okay, you do it by regulation. Like, regulation is the healthiest way to take control. If you suppress, if you try to control certain things, that is not going to happen, that is not going to work. it is going to happen. People do that, but does it work in the long run? Okay, that's where regulation is the way. All right, let's go ahead, and the fifth goal is improve, the most important part, and let's learn about it. Okay, and this is like this. Why do we dig through the past and analyze the present? So we can improve. All the things that we did, observation, explanation, prediction, control, everything was towards this thing to improve. Okay, the ultimate goal of all the psychology inquiry is simple: to suffer less and love more. And that is the ultimate goal of, as like me as a psychologist, and as the whole, like every psychologist, is to help you suffer less and to love more, which means to live your life better, live your life more fully, and things like that. See, improve, here we do not have much, okay, because this is the ultimate goal, and all the other steps were to make sure of this, okay, were to make sure that we reach to a point where we start improving. So yes, this is the last slide of this. However, I have few things to tell you. Let's understand this thing for when you're doing for yourself. When you're doing for yourself, you can observe your behavior, what exactly it is happening, and do not observe in your mind. Start taking notes, start keeping diaries and things like that, and start writing. Writing is what is going to help you give the clarity, and you will be unbiased by writing. But if you do not write, if you keep it in your mind, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I remember. And let me tell you, writing is not easy at all. When you will start writing, you will feel that hand shaking or sweating, words not coming. Those kind of things will happen because it is difficult, and that's where your brain is already being like, you know what, it is difficult. You think that you know about this, so your brain is playing tricks at you, and now you know it. So what you are going to do? Second is explain, understand the underlying reasons. Also take help of other people in this. Okay, again, if you are doing for yourself, use your friends' help or the close people's help in understanding that, you know what, this is certain things which I did, these are my certain behaviors. Can you explain what would have made me do this, or things like that? Okay, have your people, okay, they will explain you in a way that you might understand, and you might know, okay, oh, this was happening and I didn't know that can also happen. Third is predict. Of course, you can predict your own future actions which you can take, or actions which you might take if you do not do all these things. Okay, if you do not plan on interventions, and if you do not plan on healing and things like that, what are the actions that can happen? So what are the actions you are going to take about it? You have to think of all the actions things. Okay, control, influencing and regulating behavior. Now of course you can do for yourself. Again, keep a diary, keep a journal, keep noting things down, what you are doing, what is working, what is not working. Keep a track of all those things and improve. Like ultimately all these things will lead to the improvement. Now if you are doing for someone else, then same goes. However, there is this thing which is very important. I forgot it in the prediction phase. Okay, you are making an educated guess. Okay, you have to understand that no matter how deep your understanding is, no matter how much your experience is, you can go wrong. Your prediction can go wrong, and that is very okay, that is very normal to go wrong. Understand this thing, that it is very natural to go wrong. There's nothing wrong with going wrong. And When you accept it, when you acknowledge that yes, I can go wrong, it will help you to grow like anything. So whenever the educated guess is there, acknowledge the possibility that it might go wrong and take accountability for it. Okay, take accountability that yes, I can be wrong, I might be wrong, and this will help you a lot. And this is especially like, of course, when you are doing it on yourself as well, and especially when you are doing for others as well, have this thing that yes, I can go wrong in it. Like, this is a very hard part, and even when I'm trying to explain you, I also feel like like all these things were so good, and we were just getting into that. Yes, now we are becoming a psychologist. Then why this is coming that you can go wrong? We can do all the things. No, we can observe as accurately as possible, we can explain as much as possible, as accurately as possible. Then why this in the third goal, in the third step, you are like, it can go wrong as well, you can go wrong as well? Why is it that? It is that because we are humans, and going wrong is, it is just going to help you understand that this is not the path. Then you can discover another path, then you can discover something else. So this is very important, and acknowledging that you can go wrong helps you a lot. Like, the people who do not acknowledge it, they are like, I'm always right. They go through a lot of things, and a lot of things happen, and they might also lose the things for they are doing all this for. So it's okay, it's okay to acknowledge that yes, I can be wrong, this can be wrong. And if it is wrong, because I knew and I accepted that it can go wrong, I can make things happen to make it right. Again, I will find a new path, I will try to again go back to all the steps, and again try to understand what went wrong, and I can improve on that. This is going to be so important. Okay, so do acknowledge this thing, this fact that yes, you can go wrong, and there is nothing wrong about it. I was just editing the video and I realized the courage to be wrong, to admit that I could be wrong, irrespective of the research, the experience, the knowledge, and everything. Yet the courage to admit that yes, I can be wrong, it is much powerful than hoping things to go right. Like, it is much powerful. Like, let it sink in you that irrespective of the knowledge and experience, everything you have, your confidence you have that yes, it will go right, but the courage to admit that it can go wrong as well, I can be wrong as well, it's just so more powerful. Because in the second state, you are just hoping to get, like, for it to be right. You are hoping the universe to make it right for you, and when it doesn't, it breaks you. However, in the first place, when you are having that courage that yes, I can be wrong, even if you were wrong, you would be in a position to go back, check where the things went wrong, and you will correct it, because you're not hoping onto someone else. You are putting yourself accountable for it. You are taking accountability that yes, I can be wrong, irrespective of my knowledge, my experience, everything. I can still be wrong, because that is very human thing, and this is just so powerful. The courage to admit that I can be wrong. It is just so more powerful, right? Wow. Every behavior begins as noise until you learn how to listen. Describe what you see, explain what would have shaped it, predict what it seeks, the possible actions, control what harms, and regulation for the better, improve what can grow. So, that is the quiet promise of psychology, not to judge, but to understand people deeply enough that change becomes possible. So thank you for watching. May you meet the next person in your life with a little bit more clarity, curiosity, empathy, and before you go, think of one behavior of your own or of someone else that puzzled you recently, and now walk through that behavior with these five laws. I'm sure you might be surprised how different it looks now. Let me know, what are your experiences? What did you learn? What did you uncover from this? And I will be very happy to know. I will be very excited. And in fact, I'm looking forward to it. So let me know and see ya.